Yana, and welcome to your Rise and Shine yoga practice. Today's practice is focused on energizing the body. So we'll begin in standing pose with the feet about hip-width distance apart. Make sure as you're standing that you can look down at your feet and that they're no wider than the hips. So rotating the shoulders up and down and back, palms facing forward. We'll inhale the arms up above the head. Full deep breath. Bending the knees as the hands come down in front of the body. Inhaling the arms up above the head. Gathering, energizing into the body. Exhale, releasing, bending the arms, bending the legs. Exhale, extending arms above the head. And exhale, hands back to heart center this time. Inhale the arms open wide. And exhale, looking over the left shoulder, we're going to bend the left hand behind the body. You can bend the right leg. Exhale, arms back to center. And the same thing, we're going to bend the right leg and bring the left arm across the body. Seeing how far can you look back towards the right arm. Try that again, opening both arms. Exhale, bring the right arm across the body, bending the right leg. Really breathing into the side here. We'll look back at that left arm, extend the right arm nice and long. Breathing into the left side body and then exhale back to center. Left arm crosses, bending right leg. Breathing left leg. And looking back at that right arm. Breathing into the right side body. Beautiful. Inhale, the arms open. Beautiful. And walk to the front of your mat. We'll inhale the arms up above the head. Exhale, cascading forward, hinging at the hips. You can have a micro bend in the knees here. Feet about hip distance apart. Exhale, releasing the head and the neck down. Sliding the hands up the leg. Breathing into your back. Into flat back position. Rotate the shoulders up and down and back. Lift up on the kneecaps here to really support the upper body. Belly button towards the spine. Elongating the ears here. And then on the exhale, even widening the feet a little bit more. And exhale, we're just going to hang here. Hinging at the hips. You can grab a hold of both elbows if that's accessible to you. And just kind of freestyle at yourself. Rock back and forth. Bending both knees. Bringing energy into the lower spine, into the lower back. Release the head up and down, shaking yes please. The hands might release onto the ground. Ear back and forth from side to side, no thank you. Really allow the breath, the sound of the breath to move in and around the body. One more deep inhalation here. Grounding into the heels, widening the toes. Extending out of the lower back, widening the whole pelvic girdle here, allowing the belly to be nice and loose as the belly rests on the thighs. Release the head and neck. See, can you release the head, ears in line with the shoulders? And then on the next inhalation, pull up on the pelvic floor to help stabilize and bring equilibrium into the body. Inhale, sliding the hands up the legs. And on the exhale, bring the hands down to the ground. We'll bring the right foot back. Right knee comes onto the ground. Inhale, the arms up above the head. Into a nice runner's lunge. Squeeze the midline of the legs together. That 45-degree angle in the front knee, or 90-degree angle in the front knee. Inhale, opening up the arms, and bring the right arm forward, looking back at the left arm. Squeeze through the midline. Imagine that you are drawing the knees together, so that will help stabilize the belly here. One more deep breath here. Face palms up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands back to the front of the mat. Left hand back to the front of the mat. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Draw both hips back. Left toes come up towards the sky. And getting a nice, strong hamstring stretch through the back of the left leg. Toes pointing up towards the sky. Leveling off the hips here. Seeing if you can breathe into the back of the heart. As you get that full extension, and even imagine that you're drawing by pulling the left femur, the left leg back into the socket. So you might even noticeably kind of squeeze back, or notice a few centimeters, the left heel moves back towards the torso. Beautiful. On the exhale, bending the left knee, tucking the right toe under, drawing the right knee up off of the ground, and then on your next inhalation, exhalation, drawing the right leg forward to meet the left. Exhale, hinging, releasing forward. Inhale, slide the hands up the leg, and come all the way up to standing. Inhale, the arms above the head. Hands back to heart center, grounding into the feet. And just closing the eyes here as the hands come back into heart center, Anjali Mudra. Elbows or prayer mudra, both hands pressing firmly together. Elbows squeezing in towards the rib, head reaching up towards the sky, grounded in the feet. Full even distribution of weight between the toes and the heels. Can you imagine that there's a weight pulling an imaginary tail, if you had a tail, down towards the floor, as simultaneously on the front side of the body, the heart and the head is lifting up towards the sky. Beautiful. One more full deep breath here. Notice how you feel in the right leg. And we'll move on to opening up the left side of the body. So inhaling, the arms up above the sky. Eyes open. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Bending the knees here. Inhale, sliding the arms up the leg to flat back. Breathing, belly button towards spine, elongating the ears out towards beyond, drawing the shoulders back. The head reaches towards the wall in front of you. And on the exhale, hinging at the hips. And this time, when the hands come down to the ground, we'll draw the left leg back. Left knee comes onto the floor. Untucking the left toe. Inhale, the arms up above the head. Draw the hips back and imagine you're squeezing the knees together to really support the lower belly and spine. And exhale, open up the arms wide to a T position. And then on the inhalation, twisting out the waist and drawing the left arm forward, looking back towards the right arm. Again, here we are squeezing that midline together, imagining the knees are squeezing back. And can you open up, can you open, looking back towards that right thumb, can you open the arms up to another T position as the belly moves back. So we're compressing the inner organs here and breathing into the belly at the same time. You might be shaking a little bit in the legs. That's great. That means you're working on your stabilization here, unilateral stabilization. And then inhale, drawing the arms back to the front of the mat. Drawing the hands down and then pulling both hips back, allowing that right toe to raise up into the air. Squeezing the knees together as the hands come back to support you, right toes up into the sky, breathing into this big right hamstring stretch. So we have this opportunity to work on stabilizing both sides of the body. It allows us to also work on strengthening our mind-body connection with the different right and left lobes of the brain as well. So we're inhaling in, breathing, drawing that hamstring, drawing that femur, the big thigh back into that pelvic girdle, really drawing the toes up towards the sky here, belly button towards the spine. And then exhale, bending the right knee, untucking the left toe, drawing the left knee up, breathing here. And then on the exhale, bending the left knee, drawing it forward to meet the right. And exhale, bending forward, releasing. You can shake the head out, back and forth again, yes, no. Release the head, the neck. And on the inhale, this time we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. You might even widen the legs a little bit, your stance here. And exhale, releasing as the hands are interlaced behind the back. Release the hands down towards the head. But at the same time, simultaneously grounding into the heels here. Breathe into the backside of the heart, backside of the neck. Also here, please release the jaw, the neck, the eyes. In this big upper body stretch, while simultaneously opening up the hamstrings. One more deep breath into the belly. Seeing if we can begin to create this connection with the Ujjayi breath, with the victorious breath. With the breath begins to sound like a snoring baby. So you're inhaling deep into the back of the throat. You can really hear it here. And then exhaling out the nose, compressing the back of the throat. One more breath like that here. Inhaling into the back of the throat. Compressing as the hands simultaneously move down towards the floor. Opening up the shoulders. And then on the exhale, when you're ready, releasing the hands down to the ground. And shake your hands out here. Maybe the fingertips reach the floor. Grounding into the heels here. And inhale, slide the hands up the ankles, over the knees, over onto the thighs, and then draw the shoulders up and down and back. Pressing into the heels. Shoulders move away from the ear here. Stabilizing the breath in the center of the belly. And then one more exhale, release. Bending forward, and we'll slowly slide up one vertebra by vertebra. Sliding the hands up the leg, tucking the tailbone under. We'll take a 4 count. So now you need to hurry. 4, 3. Tucking the tailbone, 2. Chin still towards chest, shoulders coming up. 1. Releasing the hands forward onto the mat and coming into Tadasana. Both palms face towards the front of the mat, grounded into the heels. Beautiful. Inhale, the arms up above the head. Exhale, hands back to heart center. We'll open up both legs, wide onto the mat. Opening up the arms here wide. And coming into star pose. So both arms spread wide. Reaching up, taking up as much space. Both toes are pointing out towards the corner of your mat. And on the exhale, bending the arms into cactus arms, bending the knees and coming down into horse stance or goddess pose. So can you distribute the weight back into the heels? Maybe even the toes rise up off the ground. Exhale here and inhale, standing up. Lengthening the arms, lengthening the legs. Expression, taking up space in the fingers. Breathing into the center of the belly, and on the exhale, bending the arms, bending the legs. Using that connection with the breath and extending, taking up space. into the power pose of the star. So sometimes if you just need to take up more space, need to feel courage, using and bending the arms, coming down into goddess pose. Using first the feeling from expressing the body first to help ground and create that state of expression in the body. And then on the exhale, extending the arms wide, fingertips wide. Hands to the waist here. Rotate the shoulders up, down, back, taking up space and hinging forward at the hips. We'll come in to a forward fold here. Wide-legged forward fold. Standing. Fingertips might reach down towards the ground. If you have a block, this is a good place. You could place it underneath your head. Really take up enough. You want the feet to be at least as wide as one of your legs. So widening the toes. If the toes were pointed out towards the corners, you want to bring the feet back to parallel. Inhale up to flat back. And exhale, bending the arms. And maybe even the head. You might widen the feet until the head reaches the ground here. Or reaches your block, if you have one handy. Allowing the weight to move into the toes here. Breathing into the arches of the feet. You can imagine that there is this inward rotation of the thighs as the elbows simultaneously move together, shifting the weight into the heels and rolling the center of gravity to the top of the head. Squeezing elbows together here. Pulling up on the top of the floor to really support you in the breath. Breathing full, deep, complete breath. Releasing, complete, total, let going on the exhalation. Letting go. Or I like the term let going. An active verb of letting that go. Letting anything that's not serving you let go. So then on the exhalation, pressing up into the hands, coming to flat back, breathing into the heart, allowing again the head to move, extend away from the sides of the ears, extending away from the shoulders, and slightly pigeon-toeing the feet together here, bringing the hands back to the waist, and on the inhalation, coming back up to torso back up, and then extending the arms up, back to standing, back to star pose. Beautiful. Exhale, the arms down, draw the hands back to heart center, and on the exhale, you might walk the toes, heels, toe, heel, legs back together, or jump the legs back together, grounding back into your standing pose. And on the exhale, extending the arms up above the head. Exhale, bending forward. Hands come to the floor, and then bringing yourself down into a tabletop position here. Beginning to cool down the body. So pressing into the hands. Inhale into cow position, allowing breath to move into the belly, shoulders to come back. And bringing the head down to the floor, pressing into the hands. Tailbone extends down into your cat position. Really breathe into the sides of the neck, the shoulders here. Expressing fingers, really pointed wide and far apart. Using that same idea of taking up space on your mat, energizing the fingers, and then inhale. Tailbone and head come up to the sky. Exhale. Head and tailbone down into cat position, shifting the weight forward. And then just taking a few more freestyle cat-cows here at your own pace. Opening up the lower back. Breathing into the sides of the ribs as you coordinate your breath and your movement. Maybe moving fast, maybe you move it slow, depending on what you need to learn. And then when you're ready, coming back to neutral. No hurry, no worry. And then drawing the left knee forward. Right knee comes behind you. Extending you might inch the left toes up towards the front of the mat. And allowing the torso to come down towards the ground. Releasing the head onto the ground or maybe onto the top of the hand as a pillow. And breathing, evening off those hips here. Allowing the breath and the energy to settle to any part of the legs. Specifically, you might be feeling in the left thigh here, and the left hip flexor, allowing the breath, the energizing quality of the breath to come in and nourish any part of the body that needs some extra love right now. Full, deep, complete breath. Letting go, releasing on the exhalation. Walking the hands back up. Tucking the right toe under. And then we'll draw the left leg back into a plank. And then pressing the hips back, allowing the left leg to come up in the air into one-legged dog. And then just taking your left knee, bending it, and taking some hip circles here. Opening up the left side of the hip joint, switching around to the other direction. And then releasing that left leg down to the ground. Right leg draws up into the air. And drawing the right knee forward into pigeon on the opposite side. Untucking the left toes, pressing to the top of the mat. Rotating the shoulders up and down and back, really breathing into the front of your heart. And on the exhalation, releasing down. Torso comes to the ground. Extending fingertips forward or making that pillow for the head. On the right side. Noticing how the breath, as the breath begins to really move into more cooling, slowing down the quality of the breathing here, that maybe the thoughts can begin to kind of settle, as if you took a pebble, dropped it into the middle of a pond, and then the waves, those ripples begin to just slow down. As in the practice, we have now created this energizing lake, and we're moving into a more cooling aspect of the practice. Beautiful. Breathing into that right hip flexor. And on the exhale, walking the hands back up. Tucking left toes under. Drawing the right leg back to plank. Pressing nice and strong into the hands. Pressing one long line from the head to the toe. And then drawing the hips back up into the air. Into downward dog. Drawing the right leg up into the air. One-legged dog. Bending the right knee back. And then taking some hip circles in the right hip. Moving it around here in one direction and then switch into the opposite direction. Pressing back into downward dog and dropping the knees down to the ground. Coming back into a seated position. You could draw into hero's pose with the knees underneath you. Draw the arms up above the head. Hands back to heart center. Arms up above the head. Releasing hands to heart center. Eyes closed here. Taking stock of the body, the breath. Noticing how you feel. And notice if there's anywhere you can send a little bit more energy into your life. Or if you have a little extra energy from this practice, maybe you would offer up an energizing breath to someone you know who could really use a little extra love today. So allowing the chin to come down towards the chest, breathing into the back of the neck, signaling the bowing and releasing of the head, releasing of the thoughts to the wisdom of the heart. Namaste. Namaste.